Okay, Thursday, 23rd of January, 2025. So Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Thoughtful Thursday, philosophy and musings from life. Mixing morality with mechanics, morality with forces of nature. Now, in life, there's a handful of things we just kind of have to accept. Forces of nature, for example, a lot of these first principles of life, of reality, air, gravity, water, 24 hours in a day, kind of, things like that. There's a lot of these things in life we just kind of have to accept because it just is. Gravity is a very good example. If I have something, and I hold it, and every single time I let go, it'll go down, it'll just drop to the floor. It won't float, it won't go upwards, it won't go that way, not that way, down. As a practical matter, always does the same thing. We have to accept that. We have to accept and adapt to it. I'm pretty sure I did a video about this a year or something ago. Accept and adapt to reality. Now, we can go one step further and say, be careful mixing morality with these mechanics, these forces of nature, these things that just are and are amoral, neutral, or as a tool in some fashion. Water, for example, it just is. Oxygen, this air, it just is. The sun, it just is. Trees, animals, whatever else, bricks, you name it, electricity, internet, wood, the concept of wood, it just is. A hammer, it just is. So then, you need to be careful mixing morality, which you could arguably say is emotions. So that's wrong, this is bad, that's evil. These stamps, these labels on these things, on these mechanics. So water, to mix morality and water, for example, mechanics, it just is lack of better wording is redundant, is silly, because you can't mix these two. We need water, and the way it just is H2O. Putting an emotional spin on that and to say it's bad, it's immoral, it's whatever, risks holding someone back. To say, I'm not going to use water, it's immoral. I'm not going to use gravity, I'm not going to believe in it, it's immoral. I'm not going to use wood, it's immoral. I'm not going to use cotton, it's immoral. I'm not going to use paper from pulp from trees, it's immoral. It's evil. It's insert dramatic wording here. Immoral, evil, catastrophic, destructive, you name it. Because understand, and I can't remember if I've done a video or not, I'm not sure if I have, but there's certainly plans. Where do morals come from? And this is something I've been thinking about a lot over the past few months, and I keep coming to the same conclusion that it's subjective. From an anthropological point of view, it's just the subjective culture and people at that time. What is socially acceptable here may not be over there, and vice versa. Likewise, here today, 100 years ago versus 100 years in the future, what will be socially acceptable will be different. Interesting. In linguistics, this is called a semantic shift, where the same word, same action, same location, same place, has different standards, different meanings. Or in semantic shift, the word has a different meaning over time. So weird and wicked are good words. W-Y-R-D and wicked, good examples. So we have to be careful applying this subjective morality, because what's immoral today was not considered, or may have been considered immoral 100 years ago, and what's fine today may not be in 100 years from now. The subjective morality, that's dependent on the people that lived at the time and place. Onto this mechanic, water, oxygen, wood, you name it, paper, electricity, it's immoral. That subjective morality onto this mechanic, this force of nature, can risk holding you back simply because of emotions or this concept of good and evil. You're not going to utilize something. You're not going to utilize electricity, for example, but I think it's evil. It's evil, tool of the devil. Interesting, okay, fair enough. That's a thought, an emotion, an ideology, you could say. But applying it to something useful, let's say water or oxygen or paper, you name it, plastic, wood, that could risk holding you back. Now, I want to be extra careful with that word should and could, because I did a video about this as well, within reason. There's always some hidden caveat here and there in the world, in society, whatever else. There's always something, but I would counter that, interestingly, with another video that I want to do in the future, no idea when, that talks about survival of the smart ideas. The things that are normal and common today are the smartest and best ideas that, through trial and error over decades and centuries and millennia, worked. So, for example, if the idea that shoes, the concept of shoes are a good idea, they will be used because that idea continued through millennia in this point. It's a useful tool. Keyword there is tool. So to then say, oh, well, shoes made of linen are immoral. Why? It's just any other material. It's just a fabric. Oh, well, shoes made of polyester or whatever else are evil or bad. Tool of the devil. Where do you say that? Because where did that come from? Because it's just a material. Exactly, that's the concept. Careful mixing emotional morality, even subjective morality. Again, what's socially acceptable today may not be in the future, may have been in the past, things like that, with things that just are. Gravity, water, wood, electricity, light, nature, bricks, trees, steel, iron. It just is. These forces of nature, storms, floods, whatever else, tsunamis, hurricanes, they just are. It just is. It's just going to happen. Breathing, you need to do it. There's no morality involved. It's a mechanism. It's a process. It's a thing. It's an amoral, neutral tool, thing, phenomena, fire. It just is. Important to understand that, because I've noticed subtly that putting too much of an emotional angle, too much of a moralistic angle on certain things, tools, methods, techniques to accomplish or build stuff. Too many people, some people, are too ready, willing, and able to bemoan it, to bring it down and say that's evil, that's wrong, that's bad. Even though it's just a force of nature, and objectively thinking it's a useful method, a useful tool that gets more stuff done, achieves more things. That, very subtle, very, very subtle indeed. Careful mixing emotions, morality with mechanics, forces of nature, things that just are. Very important. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.